So hi, welcome to TechHead. So today we are planning to start a new series. So this series will contain uh, a service which will do the user authentication. So we will be building a user authentication service in this series. The functionalities will be like user can register. When the user registers, he will be getting an email into the registered email ID. So in that email, there will be a link. So if the user clicks that link, so we will enable that user into our database. If he doesn't or click that link, then what will happen? He unable to log in. After clicking that activation link, then he can go to the login and he can get a JWT token basically. So we'll be designing the backend of the system, and here we'll be using Node.js as the language. After that, Express framework for the API designs, and a JWT package for JWT token generation, and bcrypt for encryptions. So these are the basic tech stack which we'll be using for this design. Okay, so I'll be splitting this whole thing into smaller videos for better understanding. So in this current video, we will be discussing how to create an Express server, and we'll be creating some routes which will take us to the login registration and the enable users link, and what we'll design, and we will be designing a controller for them, and we'll be writing a service for them. So these are the few things we'll cover in this video. So let's get started. Okay, so we are at the YouTube folder. So let's create a new folder which is called user auth. This will be into user auth, and I will be doing npm init. So user auth package name will be fine, version will be fine, description will be fine, endpoint entry point will be server. That is test command will be not providing, git repository will not provide, keywords not provide, author will put my name over there. So licensing will be there. Okay, so now it's ready. So now what I will do, I will install Express. So let it installed. Okay, it's done. So let me open this folder in the Visual Studio Code. So yeah, here is our package.json file. So let's create a server file now. Server.js. So we have mentioned here the entry point is server.js. So we have created a server.js file. So what we will be needing here. So here we'll be designing the APIs with the help of Express. So first of all, we'll be creating we'll require the Express basically. We'll import it. So let's write const Express require. I will be doing. So the dependency which we just installed will require it. After that, what we'll do, we'll create an object of it. So const app equal to Express. So we'll create an object of it. Then we'll do app dot listen. We'll assign 4000, but later we will put it inside a environment variable so that each time we wanted to like put a different port, we don't need to go to the code and change it. So we'll put it inside an environmental variable and we can access it from there or change it from there. So like, let me console log something. Is on port 4000, correct? Let's listen. Now let me create a demo route to test if this server is working or not. Get to route So I'll be passing a method response, and here we'll do response to send, send. Okay, so it's done. Now let's run it. The server is running on port 400. Let's go to postman. The get request, correct? So when we get the response, please subscribe. So please do subscribe the channel and please click that bell icon as well to get more updates. Okay, so we can see our server is working properly. So now what we do, we will be create a router. Like let's create some folder structure first. Like how we'll be planning this thing. So let's create a folder first that is called controller. Controller. Let's create another folder, service. Controller service. Create another folder, repository. So in the controller function, we'll be putting all of the controllers for our routes. In the service folder, we'll be doing the computation, and the repository will be talking to database from this folder basically. So now let me create another folder called routers. So yeah, so inside that we'll be putting the routers. So let's create a new file, router.js. Let me import express here as well. Express. So we have to, now we will be creating a router over here. Just dot router. Letting this wrong. So it will be module dot router. Okay. So here we will be defining our APIs. Router dot. This will be slash. We will be going to do the registration first. API will be registered, and it will take a function, and this function will be coming from the controller. So let's do one thing. Const user controller equal to where will be requiring. So this user controller will be present in the controller folder, which is currently not present. We are going to build it, but let us put the path right now. So double dot, so we get out of this current folder slash ctrl slash user this is the file name. I am going to provide it. So this we are trying to, so now I'll take it and I'll put it there, and we'll call register function, or like what do you say, yeah, register function, register user. This method will be calling, and inside this method we'll define that which kind of payload it will take. So the second API will be what, again, the post API. which is authenticate. So this is our login API. So we are authenticating users. So we'll be doing authenticate. So user controller dot authenticate user. This is the second API. And third API will be a get API. What it will do? It will verify our user, or so what can we put the name of this API? So let's put it like enable user or register user, like enable user slash I will be taking a ID. So this ID will be generated for each user. User controller dot activate user. Let's look at activate user only. Activate. So this looks fine. So here is our three APIs which we are going to design. So first API will register user. So it will be taking a user email or user ID. Okay, it will take a email ID. It will take a name of that user, new password of that user, and what else? And you can put in other things as well. But we'll be currently we will be taking these three things only. So we'll be taking the email ID of that user, name of that user, and password of the user. And after that, we'll be returning the ID of that user. The response of this API will be the ID of that user. And we'll be sending a mail to the email ID which is provided in the register API, and that will contain this URL basically. And this ID will be replaced with a unique ID for that particular user. Whenever he clicks this URL, he will be activated. And once he get activated, then only he can authenticate himself or herself or get the JWT token. If this activation is not done, he cannot be authenticated. So we'll be designing this thing like that. Okay, so now we have designed this controller. So let's go to controller and create these functions. Okay, so let's create a function called, okay, so this will be user, file name will be user.ctrl, which we have mentioned here, user.ctrl. So inside this, let's get a class user user controller. Okay, so inside that we'll be creating this methods. Let me copy this one. Static. We'll be creating async method. This I will be creating as a async method. It will take a request object, a response object. So the same thing I will repeat. Okay, let's do the try catch blocks as well, since we are using the promises over there. Catch will take a error object. Now currently what we will do, we will response dot send, we'll send that error message. So we will modify it later, but currently let it be like this. And we'll let me print that as well. Logging is important. So here I am doing console log, but in the production unit or whenever you are using this service in a production environment, you need to provide a separate library for logging where the log can be precise and usable. So console log, I will be doing the error, comma, error. Let me do a error for this. So yeah, so now I'll copy this and I'll create three functions. So for each of the APIs. Okay, so in this thing now, second API is authenticate user, activate user, activate user. So this is our controller will look like. Yes, this is our control look like. Now let's put some dummy values over here, and after that we'll test this API if those are working fine or not, and then we'll continue. So let's do that. Let's copy this thing from here. Change it with user. Paste it over here. Paste it over here. Authenticate user. Authenticate user. Activate user. Activate user. These are the things. So now we need to export this module for user user controller. Will be exporting this class. So when I export this class, we can import it here, and we are using this here. And now we have exported this router, and we need to import it into our server. So let's the router is equal to require. What we'll do, so if we are in the server dot slash controller. Okay, we need to go to the routers, the dot router. We got the router now. Now we'll remove. We don't need it currently, so let's remove it. App dot into use, and our path will be slash API slash v1, and we'll be passing this user router over here. API v1 slash let me user as well, because it's a user router. So for other services you can like modify it based on your needs. Okay, so now what we are doing, let's go repeat this thing. So first we are taking first we installed the express. After that we are requiring that. After that we are creating an object of express. Then we have created a router over here, and in this router we have created a express.router object, and we made this APIs over here, and these APIs will cause these controllers when they are called. So this controller will execute this method, this statements basically. So I think it should work. Let's give it a try, and then we will continue. Okay, so let's kill this server, clear it, server.js. So it's up and running. So what are our routes? API user v1. Let's copy this thing, go to the postman. So slash, let me delete one. User slash. First of all, we need to go to the router register. It's a post API. I do a post API and call register. Yeah, register user is coming. Then go to the authenticate. Authenticate user is coming, and then go to activate. And after activate, we need to provide a random number. So let's put anything else, and it's a get API. So let me change it to the get. So click at it, and yeah, activate user is also coming. So these three APIs are currently working. So the call is coming to our express server. Then express server is routing it to this path, which leads us to the user router, which is this. And after that, try to find like the last route path, which is registered. So if it's registered, coming to this controller, and whenever we are going to into this controller, so here we have mentioned that this is the response should go to the users. So these are the our router and controller. Now let's pick one by one API and try to design it. What will be our input and what will be our output? So in this case, let's put some validation first. So what should our request object contain here? like let. So it I have earlier told you, so whenever a user is registering himself, we need his email ID, his name, and a password. So let's get those things from the request, and it's a post API, so we'll be getting those things from the body. So let's name to request dot body dot name. Let me request dot body dot mail dot body password. So we'll be getting three things over there. So now let's put a validation. If any of them is not present there, we'll be throwing an error. Correct? Yeah. So if not name or email or not password. So provide mandatory. We'll throw this error over here. So if we throwing this error, so it will be exited from this function. And if this condition is not true, it will go again and it will try to like we'll execute the next code, which will be calling our service and try to do the rest of the things. Okay, so now let's go to our router and check this register thing over here. Let me put register over here and try to post it. We should get something error. We are getting register user over here because it's not throwing, or what else? What is happening over here? Body.name body is not there. So I didn't show the error because I think nothing came in the logs. So what can happen over here? So why it was not working? So let me check first. So okay, I think I should close this server and rerun. Then it should work. That's what we missed over here. So now let's send it over here. Yeah, we are getting empty object, and here we are getting the error which we have printed. Where is that? Yeah, here. This statement has come over here. The type error cannot read property name of undefined. Correct? Yeah, because the body is not present. We are not present. We're not putting any body in the request. So that's why it's undefined and it cannot find the name of the undefined. Now, why it's coming this thing? Because whenever this is not present, we need to send something like the 400 and this things, and it should be in the JSON format. For this, we need to use a middleware basically, which comes into the Express. So what is that? App.use. Here we'll be using this dot JSON. So it will convert the output into JSON format. So again, let me restart it. So, yeah, it got restarted. Now let's, yeah, so yeah, we are getting our error which we have sent over here. This is our response, like please provide mandatory field. So response.send, sending us this error back. Okay, now if we pass the mandatory fields, let's go to body, let's go to raw, let's go to JSON, let's valid data name, let's do it Ron email, let's put it as abc@gmail.com and password will be like 1235. Okay, now let's hit it. So now we are getting register used because this thing is not true. Now we have got all of these three fields, so it's executing in the next code. So yeah, so this is it for this video, guys. And in the next video, what we will be doing, we will be uh, designing that service for this, and we will write the controller for the other two APIs and services as well. So the next video will cover those things. We'll write these two controllers and the services as well. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope so you have learned there are many things. So one is the express, how to design routers, how to use a proper folder structure to design your backend APIs, and how to use middlewares like express.json or app.use, this thing. So yeah, so yeah, we'll continue in the next video and we'll pick it from here. Thanks a lot. Bye.